it's Kim, and today I'm going to show you how I do my beef jerky. I had bought some meat last week and it is frozen. It's got to thaw, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to turn this into my beef jerky. But I do have this meat that's already cut real thin. It's just let's see, is that going to focus? So beef bottom round, extra thin cut. So it's obviously really long, so I'm just going to slice this into shorter strips. And so there we are, and see, each piece is going to be, you know, it's obviously it's going to shrivel up because it's beef jerky, but that's okay. It's nice and thin. So I'm just going to cut up this whole tray of meat just like this, and I'll be back. Alright, this is how much meat I got out of that. And see, I like these because I got them from the store sliced really thin like that. So these, if I can find them sliced real thin like that already, I'll pick that up and bring it home. And that's what I like to make jerky out of. But I do have this pack of meat. See, these are not sliced as thin. Let's see, this one they're calling Angus gravy steaks. I don't know, but anyways, I need to get that thinner. So I put these, well, these are partially frozen, so they'll be easier for me to slice. And I'm just going to do an angle with my knife like this and get this sliced up. So that got that thin. And it's a funny shape, but it doesn't really matter. And just throw that in over there. See, it gets it thinner when you do it like that. Not quite as thin as this other, but it's still pretty thin. So it's thin enough. So I got, out of that one piece, I got 3 pieces. So I'm going to slice up these, and then what I'm going to do, then I'm going to just put some Dale's seasoning on. I get this in the, it's in the part of the grocery store where you find ketchup and mustard and salad dressing and things like that. But this is really good. I'm just going to pour some of this on all of my meat when I get it all in here. And this lid just clamps down. This is a glass jar and a plastic lid. Then I'll just throw this in the refrigerator and let it marinate in this Dale's seasoning. Alright, I've got my container about as full of meat as I need it to be. I've got about half of this pack left, so I'll just add that to tomorrow's batch of beef jerky that I'll make. But all I'm going to do is shake this up. This is a new bottle. We'll see how much it takes. It might take about half of the bottle. So I'm just going to pour it over here like this. Maybe some more. Well, I didn't use half the bottle. I probably used 1/3 of the bottle. So I just put that in there, and I'm just going to move this around. I want to make sure all of the meat gets coated in the marinade. So we're just going to pop the lid on here and put it in my refrigerator and just let it sit up in there for a few hours. And When this is done marinating, I'll come back and show you what we do next. Alright, I'm back to finish up this video on my beef jerky. I ended up letting the beef marinate overnight, so it's the next morning, and all I did, I've got most of it done, but I lay out a layer of paper towels on this pan so that I can lay each strip out individually, and I'm just going over this, trying to get off most of the moisture, because it's going to dry out in the oven anyways, but this save a little bit of time. That's this much moisture that doesn't have to be dried out in the oven. So I just dab that all off. Oops. Okay. That's good enough. Toss this. And I apologize for the background noise. My dishwasher is going. Alright, so my goal is to string along each piece of meat on a skewer. I got these skewers at Walmart, a couple of dollars, $2 or $3, something like that. But this package came with two different lengths. I'm using the longer length. So I'm just going to grab a piece, and I want to go down about 1/2 inch from the top and just push it along. And I want to leave a good inch or more from this end and also from this end. And I'm just going to line them up on here like this, and about 1 inch in between. So I'm just going to slide all these on. Okay. This actually goes pretty fast once you get going. What takes the longest in preparing to put these in the oven is getting them all laid out in a single layer so that you can dry them off. So I think this will be okay. So that one's done, and if I think this one's too close, then I can scoot it like that. So then I just lay it on my plate. Let me get the rest of these done up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got them all skewered up, and now what I'm going to do is set my oven as low as it'll go. I think it's 170. And start it. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is put this across the racks in my oven. So I recently cleaned them, like earlier this week I cleaned them, so it's all ready for this to go in there. My racks don't look the best, but this is an old stove. I need to replace this in the next couple of years. So one of my eyes on top doesn't even work. So let me see if I can readjust the camera so that it'll show my oven. So what I've got in the bottom here, it is, I just turned it on, it's not hot, but let's go on and use hot over anyways. In the bottom, I've got this, just another big sheet pan to catch anything that's dripping off of the rack. So, here's what I do. Let's see here. That's as far out as it'll go. Okay. So I'm just going to put the skewers so that the meat is hanging through the slats. And so I'll have to, I'm sure, rearrange some meat, but we want everybody to be hanging. That one did pretty good. So I'm just going to continue to put my meat, and there we go. The oven's as warm as it needs. It doesn't need to be real warm because it's just as low as it'll go. This is drying out the meat. So let me finish this and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, there we are. I've got all of it in, Each of the little strips of meat is hanging in between and dripping down. That one needs adjusting. He's laying over the, you don't want the meat to be hanging on to the little racks. So let me grab a pot holder. I'm going to push both racks back in, and let's see, and then that's in the oven. So now I need to adjust this one over a little bit. Drop that down. Okay, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do, this will probably take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. I'm going to come back every hour and check on it. Just open the door, and basically I'm opening the door to let the moisture out. It'll help it dry quicker. So there we go. I'm going to set my little timer on top for an hour, and I'll come back and just open the oven door and do that every hour. Alright, it has been an hour. Let's check on it. I'm going to let some of the moisture out. And it's looking pretty good. It's starting to dry out, but they're still real wet. And my little tray in here has caught drippies that have fallen down. So we're going to put it, close up the oven, set us another, let's see here, timer, oh, okay, another hour, and we'll come back and check it then. Alright, now we're having a thunderstorm outside, so that's what that noise is. It's been another hour, so let's check on the jerky. Oh, it's looking really good. It's looking really good. Some of it might even be ready in another hour. So there we go. We'll just let it go another hour and come back and check it. Alright, we are on hour 3. At the end of hour 3, some of it looks like it might be done. Let's see here. Let's see. That one's not. It's getting close. It's getting pretty close, so let's just put that back down in there. Any of them done. Looks like we need that one more hour. So for this batch, it's going to be 4 hours. Put that back in there. Let it go one more hour. Alright, another hour has passed. So let's see what we got. Oops. Okay. And it is done. They're all nice and stiff like they're supposed to be. So I'm just going to pull these out and we'll look at them in a little bit. Let me get these out of the oven. I thought I'd show you how easy it is to get these off of the skewer. You just twist it, each one like this, so that it spins around. This one's okay. And then they just slide off like this. So quick like that. Doesn't take any time to get them off the skewers. Okay, here we are. This is a gallon size Ziploc bag, and it is full. The reason for the dark color of the jerky is not that it's burned, it's the color of the marinade. The color of that Dale's marinade is this color. So all the moisture's out and they are just perfect. So I'll just keep them in this zipper bag. There's no need to refrigerate it because you've turned it into jerky. So you can either leave a bag on the counter or put them in a mason jar on the counter. But we're putting them in the zipper bag and taking them on the road for our vacation this week. And there it is. Yummy, yummy beef jerky. Bye. See y'all later.